All right, I thought I would go through the design process. I am not an architect, but I have designed quite a few houses with this software. I find it very good. It's called Home Designer Architectural. They have a cheaper version, but this one I believe is $250. And I have the 2020 edition. I'm sure the 2023 is not that different. So when you open it, these are all not that important. Default style, this is just like the cabinets and things like that. And then you're ready to go. And to get started, all I do first is I go over here to this little brick wall and I just start to kind of draw a rough shape of what I want the house to look like. So for example, we want a front, and I was thinking the house would be around 32 feet, so we do something like 32, and it doesn't matter if you don't get the numbers right perfectly. And then let's say we want to go down about 52 feet in the back. I can't even do it, so let me just draw a box first, and this is why I'm going to show you. It's really easy to adjust it afterwards. Alright, there's my house, and as soon as it's done, you'll see these outlines. That means that it's already built a roof. It's a hip roof, which means it goes down on all four sides. And I'm going to show you how that looks with the camera. You go up here and do perspective view, and here it is, your beautiful house. Pretty lame right now, but we can add some grass. You go to terrain, create terrain perimeter. Now we have a house. And then you go back, you hit Control Tab, and it'll go back to this other page here. And let's zoom out. I have a mouse with a wheel on it, which I definitely recommend. And yeah, let's just say you want to build a house about, you want to come back wherever. You can click this wall and just click this number and type in 40 feet, and it'll automatically move that wall for you. Okay. Now let's say in this shape, we want to have the porches under the same roof. I don't want to have to build a separate roof. So we click this little thing here, and I can just kind of roughly draw where the porch would be. Let's say we do something like this. Now you see, and like this. All right. And let's say I want to have a back porch too. So I would do kind of the same thing. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just kind of roughly drawing them. Now we just need to finish building in these walls that were here, just to kind of close it back up like that. Same thing here, just kind of go up and over. Okay, and you might see something weird like that. Just drag this wall here, make it a little bit better like that. Okay, now we have a weird shape, and you see the square footage is reflective of the under the actual conditioned space, not the porches. And you could change that if you wanted to, but let's say we wanted this back porch to be 10 feet. So you click this one wall, click that number, and hit 10 feet. I try to keep all my numbers usually like that. Let's say we want this front porch to be 8 feet. So do this, boom, 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 8 feet, like that. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So now we have a shape. We can hit Control Tab, and we go back to this. Now you might notice this doesn't look right. And let's see what it is back here. Over there is good. It looks to me like the wall's reversed. It is. The siding's on the inside, so we need to click that wall and hit reverse, and click this wall and hit reverse. Go back. There it is. So you've already got a good idea of the house. Let's say we don't want to have a hip roof. Let's say we want to have a gable roof, which means like here would be a big triangle and here would be a big triangle. Well, to do that, we just go back to the plan, select the whole wall, hit open, go to roof, and full gable wall, boom. So you see right now it's already done it there. I'm just going to show you before we do the other wall. Now this side has become a huge gable, and this side is still a hip. So let's go back. We got to select this wall. You can only do similar walls. So I'm going to do the two porch walls first. Go here, roof, full gable, and then I'm going to go right here to this one and do full gable as well, and it's going to look something like this. All right, now we have what I like the way it looks. I just like the way these houses look with this big gable. And you're like, oh, what is this weird thing? Okay, well, let's figure out what's going on there, why that's happening. And sometimes it does these annoying things, and you can see here there's something with this dotted line. Maybe if I move it over, let's see if that fixed it. It kind of did. It's not perfect by any means. Sometimes you're going to have to fight some of these, and maybe the newer software, this won't be an issue. There it goes. Okay. there's that. And now you pretty much have a house. One thing to keep in mind is I try to keep things not complicated, and like, for example, maybe this wall and that wall should be in the same plane. I'm just going to kind of drag this all the way like that. Do this, drag this one to here. Just delete this little one. Let's see if that made everything weird. No, it didn't. Okay, so now we have this. The house is kind of divided up down the middle here. And now we can break off this interior part because we don't need that. So you do this. Wait, you click up. There's a break somewhere. It's here. You click this little button, and now you can break the wall here and break the wall here. Hit space to go back to the arrow, and you just delete it. You want to fix this little thing here. Okay, so now we have a shape. I accidentally deleted the camera, so we need to go back to this. There she is. Alright, so we've spent only a few minutes and we already got a whole house. And then I just like to start drawing walls in, and this is where you can just have fun. You look at other plans from websites to get inspiration, but a lot of the plans usually you'd have maybe a bedroom back here. You'd probably have some kind of bedroom here, and you'd have some kind of thing here where you'd have a closet. You'd probably have another closet here. And then you have a bathroom here, and then you'd want to have your doors, and I usually just kind of, this is all part of the very early just throwing stuff in. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get a bathroom door. Closets should be, I like a 2-foot deep closet. We can zoom in here, and you double click it and name this closet, for example. Okay, and it's only 1'5", so let's click the wall and hit the up arrow. Keep hitting up until you have 2 feet. There you go. Let's do the same thing for this room. We just want to start getting these rooms pretty good, like that. Get them pretty close to what you want. Let's say this is going to be our bathroom. Well, most bathrooms, I shouldn't say most bathrooms, but tubs usually come in 5 foot. So you have to come up here and type in tub. And let's just say you want to throw in a simple tub with a shower. Tub shower. Okay. Well, there it is. If you put it right now, you'd have this space up here. Then you're probably thinking, well, what am I going to do with that space? So that's when you can start thinking, what do you want to do with that space? You can either bring this wall down and make a 5-foot bathroom, or you can do something clever. It's whatever you want. Let's say I want to put a wall here, and of course I don't want to hit the tub. All right, so now that's where it goes. And let's say maybe the toilet goes here, but I need more space. Okay, so now we have to start moving everything up a little bit. And this is what it's all about. It's just moving, moving, moving. Let's say I want to put a toilet right there. Toilet. And it doesn't matter what you choose. I usually just choose like standard. Put a toilet, and at some point you want to verify the width here. Make sure you got enough room for your toilet. And then let's move this back up since we moved the closet. Now we got to move this wall up a little bit so we have 2 feet again. And I don't know. Let's put I like a pedestal sink. It's kind of country. Put a little pedestal sink, I don't know, right here. And this isn't a great layout, but this is just kind of showing you. We'll tell you what, let's say we don't like that. Let's turn this sink by grabbing this arrow here. And then you can even cut it, Command X, and then Command V. Let's say we put it down here. Let's move this door. Let's move it like something like that. We don't want the door to open and you see the toilet. That's kind of weird. This is just a rough design. All right, and something I like a lot is having natural light in a bathroom. And I'm not loving this bathroom, but since this is just a tutorial, we're going to put a window right above that toilet. And just for fun, let's grab this camera here and do full camera and drag it like this and put it yourself in the bathroom. And now we can look around at the room we just built. So there's a sink, there's a door. We can even open the door, double click it. Options, show open. Go back to your orbiting tool here, blah, blah, blah. This window is it's kind of into the toilet, so let's just grab it and raise it up a little bit. And I like that. Let's in some natural light. There's your shower. I'm not crazy about this bathroom, but like I said, this is just a tutorial, and I can walk around. Hitting the arrow keys allows you to walk. It's not the most user-friendly, but it works pretty well. Command Tab to go back to this screen. And then you can do doors, or you can do doorways. Doorways are just like a big opening in the wall. Let's say we want to put a doorway here, and then you can make it big. Let's say I want to have a really big opening here, like, I don't know, I can double click it and put 5 feet, and there it is. And this is really neat. So now I'll go back to my camera, and here it is. And if you roll back with the mouse wheel, it'll kind of change your perspective. It doesn't actually walk back, it kind of zooms out. Let's say I want to have an arch. Now I don't recommend an arch because they're kind of hard to build, and you probably won't have the time or budget to do that, but for fun, if you just want to see how it looks, you can do it. You walk through that little room, and there's our rough design of a house. Control tab, go back, and you can put your doorways in, more doors, and put your windows in. Let's put a front door in here. If you want to make a wide door, as you start to drag it out, once it gets to 4 feet, it becomes a double door. And of course, there's lots of options how you want that to work. You just double click it. You can do like a glass panel door, whatever you want. And you know, most doors are 80 inches, but if you want to do a really tall door, that's an option. You can do some windows, pop them in, boop, boop. And then we can go back to either this mode. Those windows look pretty lame. They're real small, not very exciting. So we can click one of them. Let's say I want it to be a big window, 6 feet tall. And let's say I want it to be a double hung window. This is good for when you do your materials later on. It'll have all that specced out for you. Lights are the little lines. Let's say we want to do like a craftsman style, and you can add some of these, whatever. This is what I like at my house. Okay, so there's my tall window. Use the arrow keys to move it up. A lot of people usually want the tops of all this stuff to match, so let's delete this window. So this door is pretty short, so because of that, maybe a 6-foot window is just too much. And this is all just whatever your preference, but if you want it to match the door, you basically go floor to top and do 80 inches. Oops, 80. And now it matches. Command C, Command V, now you got another window. You can make this a glass door if you wanted to. Just go here and put glass. Oh, that's a crazy looking thing. There's all kinds of options. Glass panel, and you can do the same thing. You can put some lights, and who knows how that's gonna look, but it's kind of crazy. Of course, I don't love this, but it's just for fun. Just say, starting to get ideas. It's like, this is the phase. If you're not gonna like go and find a plan that's already been drawn, then this is kind of how you would start spitballing ideas on the thing. So there's your house, pretty much. I mean, that's the bare minimum if you just want to make a bare minimum house. But you're going to spend some time playing around with the design, more windows, more doors, making the flow. What is it? Command. I'm drawing a blank right now. But you can do, oh, it's Shift T. Shift and T make your cabinets. You can put some cabinets in here. And if you want to get ovens and stuff, you just type in range. And all kinds of options on electric range. You can slap it in there, and fridge and so on, and put your doors, and you can even put beds. One thing I've noticed about the beds is they're usually a weird size. They seem enormous. So I drop it, and most queen size beds that I've ever been in are 60 inches wide, not 69 inches wide. And I think they're usually around 80 inches long, so it shrinks it down, and you can verify those sizes, but in my memory, let's say on these closets you want to have some bifold doors, then you would just go here, bifold, and you can start dragging doors in here. And of course you can make them wide, so you just double click it. Let's say I want that door to be 36 inches. If you want to center it on the wall, you click it and hit Command G, and then click on the inside of that room. Can be centered, yeah. And something like this might be in the way. Command G, there it goes. So, like for example, let's say I wanted to center this door right here on this, in this room. Command G and click this room, and then you see it moved. But I'm going to put it back. Command Z to go back. And that's pretty much the gist of what we're doing here. Trying to keep it simple, keep the roof simple. And lastly, let's go back at this. This is a really big roof. It's not really big, but let's, you know, this is, if you hit Command R, you can see the pitch of the roof is 8, which is great. I love an 8 on 12 pitch. It's nice, it's steep. Where in the south, we don't have snow, and we don't have much of a reason to have a roof that's steep unless you just want to have a giant attic. And once again, it's up to you. But on the house we're about to build, I went with a 6-on-12 because it's a lot more comfortable working on top of that roof. And you can see how it shrunk it down quite a bit. Not as impressive, and there's not much headroom up here anymore. But we can actually go and click this glass house, and we can kind of see through it all. And one more thing, if you want to get measurements here, go back to the plan, and this software is just amazing. For the price, click elevation and go on this side here. From this mode, because it's not really in perspective, it's not any kind of 3D, it just shows you what the elevation is. And now we can measure. Click this measuring tool, and since we know our wall's there, I can do this and drag up, and it gives me a bunch of measurements. But if you look at the bottom, it says 10'9". That means that from that plate of the wall to the peak of the roof there, I got 10'9", which is pretty cool. And sometimes it won't draw the measurements you want, but you can still drag it. And if you look down here, that's 6'3". If you look here at the bottom, it'll tell you what that measurement is. So that's just kind of telling me roughly that this whole area would be enough for you to walk in, which is great for your attic access. You can get up there and put your Christmas tree, or maybe you want to do a water heater up there in the attic, which I do not recommend. And we can talk more about that later. Some people do it, that's fine, but if there's ever a problem with that water heater, you don't want to be up in that attic dealing with it. Go back to here, and if you want to do aesthetic changes, you can go back to your mode. Let's turn off this mirror. Let's go up here, put standard. Go back to your orbit mode here. Let's say I want to have a metal roof. You can hit Command R actually and go back to materials and go to roof surface and this, and then you can click. There's metal, but you don't want metal shingles, so you would go down to sheet metal, and you'd pick whatever. Standing seam is a nice metal, but it's more expensive. Exposed fasteners is a lot more affordable. You can do, there's white, beige. Is there just regular old silver? Probably not. Let's just do white. You hit OK. There it is. Beautiful, but it still has an asphalt ridge. So you just hit the eyedropper and click this, and then paste it on that ridge like that. And a couple hours from now, you keep playing with this, you'll have your house design. So I really hope this has been helpful, and yeah, feel free to add some comments below.